Okay, time for day 3. Yeah, I went to bed literally thinking about this game. Kind of kept me up at night a little bit. That might have been the ADHD. That's a thing with ADHD. We just sort of, our brain just can't stop, and that's why we have trouble sleeping. There's a fun fact for you. But yeah, things are okay, but not great. Uh, what occurred on day 2 is Pavel made a decision while he was off scavenging to help a young boy who lost his dog, and that made him sick. Pavel is now sick. He has illness level 2. That is not great. Both of our refugees are pretty tired. That's easy enough to fix. What we are concerned about now is Pavel's illness, though, because we don't have medicine. That's what's making this current situation kind of bad. Because for today, at least, we have enough food and water. Now, the problem about that is we have enough for today. We don't have enough for tomorrow, though. And we don't have enough people or enough time during the day, I don't think, to be able to produce more. Because we don't have chems to put in the deadfall trap, so that's not going to be bringing us any food. That's not great. It almost makes me think that maybe we don't eat today. That's always an option, to just not eat the food that you have, I suppose. I don't know. All I do know is this is the beginning of day 3 of the Endless Night scenario. We have made it past 2 days. And not only do we make it past 2 days, we're actually kind of sort of doing okay. Like, despite starting with only 2 survivors, we have not lost any survivors yet. So I don't know if I'm getting a little bit better at this game, or I've just been kind of lucky. I kind of have been lucky. Like, some of the things that have occurred have been lucky, and now I only just realized I haven't really completely set up the board yet. Gonna put night raids there, findings there. It's definitely especially important to have this stuff set up, because the deal with the Endless Night scenario is, yeah, you have a longer night time. And so you can go scavenging twice, and you also suffer 2 night raids each turn. So each individual turn is a bit longer. That's probably why there's only 6 days that you need to make it through. There's 6 normal events, well, 3 normal events, and then there's 3 ending events, and then that's it. So that's way less events and turns than you would have in like a normal campaign. Anyway, let's get started. So, morning phase, we draw the 3rd event to see how that changes things up for us. Could be any gosh darn thing. The last 2 were not great. We had harsh winter and snipers, and that made things just worse overall. Maybe this one will be good. I don't know. Let's see. Let's draw and see what the morning brings for our survivors here. Oh, no, it's not good. It's not good at all. It's a rat infestation that adds 2 cold to the cold space. We lose all of our food. Cool. So it says discard all green tokens from the storage, including the cigarette? The rats would eat the cigarette? Okay, wait, it says, then if during the next dawn phase you have a deadfall trap with a weight token on it, this provides 1 additional raw food. Okay. That's not going to happen, though, because we don't have chems. And since the rats just ate all of our raw food, we can't do anything with a deadfall trap. That's cool. So no, it was not a good thing. It's just things have gotten even worse. We now have no food, so it is now not an option to not eat today. We just aren't going to eat because no food. Dope. At least we still have water. At least the rats didn't drink the water, I guess. But yeah, we got to get rid of the raw food and the cigarette. That is just gone now. Gone, daddy, gone. All right, yeah, we tossed this card. That is removed from the game. Okay, so that happened. Now what? Now we have the day phase, and I already kind of had this planned out in my head. The bed is going to help us here, of course, because since we only have 1 bed, our characters are going to have to take turns taking a nap. But what I've discovered recently is beds are cool because they allow you to take a nap during the day phase, and they remove all your fatigue. Well, you lower the fatigue of a character placed here by 2. Which is perfect because both of their fatigues are at 2. So, I think a great way to get started here is we will put Sveta on the bed so that she can take a nap. And then we're going to have Pavel go to the basement to poke about. Because we only have 2 wood. And it would be great to have more, particularly since it's incredibly cold outside. And we want to have more wood to start a fire, or better yet, like, if he can get 4... But I don't know, I was thinking about this. Even if Pavel can get 4, we may not be able to do another board up. Because the deal is, when Sveta takes her nap, she will have her fatigue back fully. She will have done 1 action already by taking a nap, so she still only has 2 actions left. Pavel is going to have no actions left after he does the poke about, and we have nobody else, right? So if there's only 2 things that Sveta can do, I would think it would be best to focus on what needs to be done. So we want to do rainwater collector to try and make sure we have some more water for tomorrow. And we also want to probably just stuff all the wood into the simple heater to reduce some of this cold outside. If we can get 4, maybe 6 wood, then that will remove up to 3 cold tokens. So that would be great. And since we have 2 board ups, that would help as well. Because we definitely don't want Sveta to get sick as well, or for Pavel's illness to get even worse than it already is. So here we go. And we're going to be dealing with hunger now as well, thanks to that rat infestation. Not as much of a deal for Pavel, but Sveta is going to go up to hunger 2. So we're going to have to go out there and scavenge, despite the fact that we have snipers and Pavel might get shot, and then we're going to have to deal with wounds as well. So yes, overall, our situation is kind of bleak. But that's this war of mine, right? So let's make a roll for Pavel in the basement to see how much wood he can find. Because it's going to be wood. We need that wood. Okay, we get a 6. So that means, okay, he only gets 2. It's only 2. All right. Well, that's something. So that means Sveta can take the 4 wood and shove it into the simple heater. Oh, I really wish we would have the ability to upgrade this heater so that we don't have to spend as much. Now, in theory, we have a book, so we could combine the book with 1 piece of wood to remove 1 cold token. But I kind of want to keep that book just in case we need to use the chair to manage misery and whatnot. Because the book will make the chair more effective. So anyway, that happened with Pavel. So Sveta took a nap. We can now remove her fatigue entirely. So she is now currently only dealing with hunger 1. So remove the fatigue token for Sveta. Now we're going to move Sveta to the rainwater collector and put a weight token on that rainwater collector. Because there she is, setting it up to try and get us some more water by the end of the day. Because we're going to have to drink it. At least we have water. We do not have food, but at least we have water. Okay, so we're also going to send Pavel to bed to take a nap. So that happened. So now we can remove Pavel's fatigue since he has taken a nap. There's nothing else that he can do for the day because his illness takes away... Oh, wait a minute. His illness takes away 2 of his actions. Uh-oh. So that would mean he could either poke about or take a nap. It's either or. You know what? We're just going to say he poked about. He can take a nap tomorrow. He can take a nap tomorrow. I looked in the box. Fatigue 3 is basically the same as Fatigue 2. So he can take a nap tomorrow. So he's just down here finding the wood. That was the only thing he had the strength to do today. Whereas Sveta took her nap and now she's fine. She can do 2 more things. One thing she did was the rainwater collector. She can now take that wood that Pavel found and go up to the simple heater and make a fire. So if we burn 4 wood here, which is all the wood that we have left, we can remove 2 cold tokens from the cold space. So that is something. At least we don't have maximum cold out there now. It is now 2 cold with the board ups. Okay. We just don't have food. That's all. And we now have to deal with that because it is now the dusk phase. Okay. So dusk phase is always pretty simple. We just drink and then we eat. You know, if we can. So since we have 2 water, yes, we're going to drink. So we have to get rid of that. Now, if you don't drink, you have to roll the die of fate to see if that increases either your hunger or your misery. So this is why water is pretty important. You either get consistently more depressed or even more hungry without water. So if you don't have water and you don't have food, you're going to have people dying pretty quickly. But we had water, we just don't have food, so we now need to increase Sveta's hunger by 2. And we need to get Pavel up to hunger 1 because he was not able to eat for the day. Okay. still not necessarily the end of the world, I guess. Alright, so that was the day and the dusk phase. So now we go to evening. We go to evening, and we have to decide who's going to do what. Now, once again, I kind of planned this out in my head. I'm thinking we want, despite the fact that Pavel is sick, I think he should go out and scavenge. And I would argue, like, that is what he would do. He's, like, desperate to find some medicine. We don't have medicine. We don't have a way to make it. He's got to get some. So he's going to go out there and do that. Sveta is fine. We would prefer Pavel to go out anyway, like just gameplay mechanics wise, because he does have one prowess. And we do have snipers out there. So a reroll of the red die might be awesome to hopefully avoid Pavel getting wounded as well. So yeah, we're going to put Pavel out here on the findings pile with a knife and the bandages. He cannot apply these bandages immediately, but my reasoning is if he takes the bandages with him, they don't get stolen in the night raid phase. We want to make sure we still have these bandages. If we lose them because Pavel died in scavenging. And then we don't need them anymore unless Sveta gets wounded in the night raid phase, which might very well happen. I don't know. Sveta arms herself with a knife because she is on the guard space. And that's what we're doing. I don't know. We might have Pavel take other things too, though. I might as well have him take the shell, because that's worth something. And maybe the book? And the board game? We don't want him to take the mechanical parts, because that would weigh him down too much. I definitely don't want to sell the board game. Oh, that we also found that out. That was a cool thing that we found due to some random event. The board game in the dawn phase will allow us to reduce everyone's misery by 1. So, yeah, it turns out when you sit down at a table and play a board game with people and just share an experience with other people, you feel better. Isn't that weird? Anyway, we'll have him take these things too for the absolute hell of it. On the assumption that hopefully Pavel will make it back in one piece. And so these things will not get stolen in the night raid phase. It will not be great if we lose these mechanical parts, but it won't be the end of the world either. It'll just mean we can't. It'll be harder for us to like build a new upgrade thing. But honestly, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, seeing as how we're constantly spending what little wood we have to try and deal with the harsh winter here. So I don't know how useful these mechanical parts are, like, at all, basically. Anyway, so we've made our decisions in the evening phase. Now we need to decide where is Pavel going to go, and I'm almost certain we're going to have him go to the derelict squat. Because this will give him the most opportunities to find things. We need to find medicine, hopefully some food. What else do we need? Definitely medicine and food. Yeah, those are the two big ones. Because we have no food. And we need some medicine for Pavel. If we can get that stuff, then we're good. We can coast for another day at least. So yeah, we're moving Pavel to the derelict squat. That is where he is. So since it is the close location, we can take 14 cards from the exploration deck here. going to shuffle it yet again real quick, just to make sure it is nice and shuffled. Oh, and I forgot, we have to, before he goes there, we have to roll the red die to see if Pavel got tagged trying to get there. So we're going to need to put him back on this space and roll that red die to see if he gets shot. Oh, that's not great. That's a 3. We need to re-roll that. Okay, we got the shotgun blast. I'm not sure if that means like 1 or just 0. Let's see what the sniper's card says. Roll the red combat die for each to determine if they were hit and how many wounds they suffered. Because like basically the shotgun blast is like a special critical hit for just shotguns. So I don't know if this means that he has a wound or not. It says if the shotgun icon is the result of a roll while using a shotgun, okay. Oh, right. Okay. On the bottom here, it says shotgun blast and axe icons are considered misses when using different weapons. I'm going to say this is considered a miss. That's what I'm going to say. Because it's snipers. You don't snipe with a shotgun. So that's 0. Pavel did not get hit. He could have had 3 flipping wounds, but he has prowess 1, so thanks to his past as a soccer player, he was a bit zippier than that. All right, anyway, so no wounds. We're saying no wounds. He's there. All right, now we draw the 14 cards. That was a close call. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cards. Okay. So we missed that. What's going to happen in the squat, though? We have no idea. And I'm thinking we're going to try to play it just a little bit riskier than we were with Sveta, because Pavel does have prowess of 1, and he is also armed with a knife. So he has a slightly better capacity to defend himself, but we don't want to be too risky because Pavel could easily get overwhelmed by, like, you know, going up against like 3 thugs with knives or, you know, soldiers. And I mean, combat is just a risky thing, period. Although Pavel does have a special ability called Fleet of Foot. So when Pavel is in the group fleeing from combat, reduce the number of backstab wounds by 2. Although at the same time, I am aware that, like, when combat is initiated by, like, an immediately hostile enemy, you cannot flee. You don't have the option to flee until after their first initial attack. Like, 1 round of combat just happens. And so either you get wounded or you don't. Anyway, what is the first card? Okay, you may ignore this card or poke about. We can return 1 exploration card or roll for noise. To choose 1 finding in the special findings chart for this location. Yeah, let's roll for noise. So as long as we don't get a 1, we're good. and we get a 5. We're good. So we now get to roll the die again to see if we actually get anything on the special findings. 2, so nothing. Pavel found nothing. That's great. The only thing that sucks about this squat is 1 through 6 is nothing. Although 10 is meds. That's cool. We could get meds if we roll a 10. So, okay, there's that. What's the next card? You may ignore this card or return. Yeah, we want to return 2 exploration cards to have a hiding space. Yes, we do. This is just a good idea. Pavel spends a bit of time to find a good hiding spot just in case. Because again, he is just one sick dude with a knife, and who knows what the hell is in this derelict squat. Okay. Next card. You may ignore this card or search the heap. So we can return 2 exploration cards and raise the noise by 1, or raise the noise by 1 and roll for the noise. Now, if we raise the noise by 1, it's only at 2. Yeah, fuck it. Let's raise the noise by 1 and roll for noise. And we get a 10. This time we get a 10. Okay. So now we get to just search the heap. So we draw and resolve 1 card from the findings deck heap chart. And this heap says electrical part, filter, and weapon part. So not what we're looking for. Not what we're looking for at all. But if we somehow run into a trading situation, we have some stuff that we can give up for some things that we do need. So electrical part, filter, and a weapon part. We are probably not taking any of this stuff back with us, because you can't eat any of this. So Pavel's inventory is full at the moment, but we don't have to ditch that stuff until scavenging is over. So, okay. We shuffle that card back into the findings deck, and the heap has been searched. We also roll for special findings, though. I forgot to do that. I forgot to do that last episode as well. It's a 2, so it's nothing anyway. All right. Would have been nice if it was a 10 so we could get those meds. Okay, what is the next card? It's a door. Okay, so we can... we have a choice to raise the noise by 1 or roll for the noise. Let's see, we can increase the noise slightly and not have to roll, or just roll now when it's only 2. Let's just raise the noise by 1. Raise the noise by 1. Ditch. Next. You may ignore this card, or okay, now we get this other hideout card, which says we can return as many exploration cards as we wish to roll and lower the noise by the same amount. So this might represent Pavel just chilling out in that hideout spot that he found for a bit to, like, get anyone off his tail that might be hearing some of the things that he's doing. So the noise is only at 3 currently. We've got how many cards left? We have 7 cards left. So we could give up 2 and still have 5 cards left, and then the noise would be down to 0. We might as well do that. Yeah, we'll get rid of this, but we'll also take 2 cards off the top. We will return them to the deck so that we can reset the noise down to 0. Okay. So what's the next card say? Hey, search the furniture. Okay, so now we can return to... Okay, we're raising the noise by 1 and rolling for the noise. So thankfully it's down to 1 already. We can raise it up to 1 and roll. And we get a 6, so we are good. Cool. So we can now draw and resolve 1 card from the findings deck on the furniture chart. So this furniture... Hey, we found our meds. Dope. Okay. In the furniture, we found herbal meds. So that is what we need. So at the very least, we have something to give Pavel so that he can deal with the sickness in some kind of way. We also get another weapon part, jewelry, and another filter. Jewelry is a great trading item. That is for certain. I'm going to try to hang on to that. And also yet another weapon part we are almost certainly not going to take back with us. Definitely going to take the jewelry back, though, because it don't weigh anything. Okay. All right, we can cross 1 item off of our list. We did find medicine. Now we would definitely like to find chems and or food. With that in mind, let's not forget to do the special findings roll as well to see if we got a bonus thing. And it's a 3, so it's nothing. Okay, well, let's pull the next card and see what that is. Bars. This location doesn't even have bars, and we also don't have a saw blade, so that's something we just have to toss. So we've just got 3 cards left. What is the next one? Next one is reality impact. So a random thing is going to occur. Okay, so we draw a card from the colors deck. And it's a blue. Then check the number of that color on the exploration chart of this location's card. So that is exploration says 537 for the blue number. Okay. 537. What does that say? $537. Human ingenuity knows no bounds. The room we're in looks like a cross between a kitchen and an impromptu lab. A strong smell of yeast is everywhere. Jars left on the table are filled with water mixed with gray soap. The label reads blonde hair dye in black letters. We smell another jar of moisturizing cream. The smell of rancid cooking oil is almost identical to the one that the charity organizations are dropping every few days. When people still had hope that the war would end soon, such homemade cosmetics were worth their weight in gold. We find the body of the resourceful chemist in the next room. Without makeup, her face looks like it had been set in stone. Wallpaper, black from the fire, is peeling from the walls. We take one of the jars and quickly leave. Add 4 chems to the findings pile. Yo, we just crossed another one off the list. We got chems. We got a bunch of chems too. That is dope. Okay, we got meds and we got chems. So chems don't immediately equate to food, but it can be food eventually. We would really like to find some food though. Because currently we're just going to get some more water. But if Pavel can't find any food here, the next dusk phase is not going to be great. Because Sveta is going to go up to hunger 3. Pavel goes up to hunger 2. That won't be good. That will not be good at all. We did find some good things, though. We have found some good things. Let's see if we can find some more good stuff. Okay, so that was... Yep, and back to the game. So that was a thing that happened. Afterwards, place this card under the current location card. So that is under there until that location goes away for whatever reason. Then we shuffle the blue color back into the colors deck. Then we draw the next card. Oh, we also have to shuffle this findings card back into the findings deck. What's the next card say? Stairs up. We look for another way, or we enter. We raise the noise by 2 and roll for the noise. Okay. Kind of seems like the only safe option here is to just end exploration. Or we could take a... You know what? We might as well take a risk because we still have that hiding place. So even if we get a 4 or less, we can just ignore the encounter. So, all right, we'll enter, we'll raise the noise by 2, and we're going to roll the die of fate to see what happens. It's a 5, so we're good anyhow. Okay. So we toss this. The final exploration card says, hey, search the pantry. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so once again, thankfully we didn't have to use the hiding place last time. So we can now also not really worry about noise, because we can't return 2 exploration cards, but we can raise the noise by 1 and roll for the noise. So let's do that. Let's roll for the noise, and even if we get 5 or less, it doesn't matter. We can just ditch the hiding place. And we do get a 4, but that's fine. We can just discard the hiding place to ignore an encounter. Do not draw a residence card. So Pavel just darts back to that hiding spot again to avoid whatever the hell almost found him. And now he gets to just search the pantry and find what kind of goodies are in there. So let's draw another findings card and see what we get. So this pantry says, hey, we get food. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. With the canned food, we can almost certainly just, if we can somehow manage to hang on to this. Okay, so I think what we might do here is something similar to what we did last time. Okay, we got canned food, and we got sugar, and we get to roll again for special findings. It's a 3, so that's nothing. All right, so we shuffle this back into the findings deck. Scavenging is now over. Oh my goodness, that was a lucky run. We got everything and then some that we wanted. It would have been nice to get more food, but canned food is going to completely eliminate Sveta's hunger tomorrow, provided she doesn't die in the night raid phase, I guess. So let's see what happens there, I suppose. But if Sveta can defend herself for this night raid phase, then Pavel comes back. We can do the same thing we did last time. We just won't go out and scavenge again. We'll have 2 people on the door with 2 knives, and that way we will be much better prepared for whatever comes in the next night raid phase, and we will have all the things that we need. Okay. But before we do any of that, we also kind of need to decide what Pavel is actually going to take back with him, because he has a bunch of items here. We definitely want the canned food, and we might as well also take the sugar. And of course we want to keep the knife. But of these other things, probably the electrical part we'll take back. We'll take back the electrical part. And all the rest of the stuff just goes away because Pavel can't carry it with him. He has an inventory of 4. Goodbye to the filters. Goodbye to the weapon parts. We can't eat you, so you're staying behind. We can't eat the electrical parts either, but I mean, we didn't find any other weighted food items, so we might as well take the electrical parts back with us. Who knows? They might come in handy. All right, so now we need to find out what happens with Sveta when we draw the next Night Raid card. It's Rugged Hoodlums. So we have... Okay, this isn't terrible. We have Wounds 3 and damage any 6 tokens starting with green tokens. So we are going to lose our mechanical parts, which is fine. All Sveta has to do is roll a 1, at least a 1, with her knife. And we will avoid her being wounded because we have 2 board ups. Now, Sveta does not have prowess, so it's entirely possible we get a nothing and she does take 1 wound here. Okay, it's an axe, which means since she doesn't have an axe, she's got a miss. That means Sveta takes on 1 wound. Which is not terrible because we do have bandages that Pavel is going to be bringing back with him. So, okay. Let's get a wound for Sveta. One wound that she was unfortunately not able to escape. I completely forgot these narrative things. Kick the door down will allow us to open a closed door in scavenging, despite the fact that we don't have a lockpick. So that's pretty cool. We also have headshot, which kind of doesn't mean anything because we don't have a firearm. If we did have a firearm, that would be great because we could automatically ignore 1 Night Raid card. But yeah. So, Sveta took a wound, and these mechanical parts are gone. Okay, but beyond that, Pavel comes back with all of the things. We're going to give him a knife, because we're going to have to do another Night Raid after this. Let's see if we can keep all of this stuff. We really don't want to lose any of it, actually. Hopefully. It would be great if we didn't lose any of it. Let's see. Canned food, sugar, shell, board game. Okay. So it says, yeah, afterwards shuffle this card back into the Night Raids deck. What is the next Night Raid card? It is a Reality Impact. Okay. So draw a card from the colors deck to determine the color of the script, then reveal the top card of the Night Raids deck and check the number with that color on it. It's a green. Okay, we get a green. And then we draw the top card, which is Thugs, and it says 271. What's going to happen? This is almost worse in a way, I think. Maybe. We'll see what happens. But, like, if we were just normally drawing the Thugs, we would almost certainly be fine. Because we've got 2 board ups, and we've got 2 people with knives. So if on a really lucky roll, we would take no damage and no wounds. Because we would get 2 3s with each knife. Pavel has prowess 1, so we could re-roll a 0. As it is, though, we have to do what this says. Check 271. What occurs with the Thugs? Okay, we hear a clatter at the door. Someone put down a bag filled with metal tools. What does he want? Is it a burglar? Does he know we're in here? Then he knocks. Hello, good people. I'm a handyman. I've got a family I need to feed, and I'm not one for begging. I work with my hands. Do you need anything done? Could you pay me? You may discard tokens with a value of 5 or more from the storage to instantly place any fitting card, discarding any resources and tokens required to craft it. Oh. The required resources are lowered by 2 wood and 2 components. Oh. Well, we could pay him with the jewelry, but we don't have... I don't know. We could see if there's something that only requires, like, components and an electrical part. Because that's like, literally all we have. Like, what's the upgrade to a... Yeah... We could have done an upgrade to an efficient heater, but we lost those 2 mechanical parts. So that sucks. Although it does say... required resources can be lowered by 2 wood and 2... Yeah, 2 wood and 2 components. Let's see... Yeah, we couldn't do build a bed either because that requires 4 wood. Then we have 0 wood. What about basic fittings? We couldn't even build a metal workshop because that requires 3 wood, and we have 0 wood. Yeah, we can't have him build anything. We have no wood. Like, none. And no upgrade parts. So I think... this actually worked out pretty good. Could you pay me? Sure, we could pay you, but we don't have anything to build basically anything with. So... sorry. And then it just says go back to the game. Alright, so cool. We lucked out. We don't have to roll or anything. Nothing bad happens. We just shuffle the Thugs back into the Night Raids deck. So instead of Thugs attacking us... yeah, and afterwards we shuffle this one back into the Night Raids deck as well. And we shuffle the color card back into the colors deck. And that was the final Night Raid for the turn. Okay. So that happened. So now that the Night Raid and scavenging is all done and over with, oh gosh, if I had known that, I almost would have had Pavel go out scavenging again. But, well, we lucked out. So, Dawn. Dawn phase. We assign meds and bandages. So, yes, we're going to put herbal meds on Pavel. And we're going to put bandages on Sveta. So we have exactly what we need to keep them okay for now. Let's see. Then we draw a fate card. Draw and resolve one fate card. What does the fate card say? Okay, it says raise the illness of all ill characters who did not take. All right, so Pavel's illness does not get worse, but it looks like Sveta's wound heals immediately, because heal the wounds of all characters who had bandages by 1. Cool. So the bandages are now gone, but so is the wound token from Sveta. Okay. This means... Oh, hold the phone. I think I forgot to increase their fatigue. So Sveta actually has fatigue 1 from doing guard duty. And Pavel actually has fatigue 3 from going out to scavenge. Okay. That happened. All right. Sveta's wound is gone. That's cool. All right. That was the first thing. Let's see. So if cold tokens minus board ups equals... Oh, great. 1 or more. So Pavel's illness goes up to 3 now. That's not great. That's not great at all. All right, well, that's what happened. Because either we can put his illness up to 3, or we could give... Because it says raise the illness of one chosen character by 1. So I think illness... Let's see. Illness 1... We could say Sveta gets sick now as well. Yeah, because if Pavel's illness goes up to 3, he won't be able to do anything at all next turn whatsoever. Like, nothing. He won't even be able to take a nap. And that will kind of, sort of, yeah. So we're going to give illness 1 to Sveta because of the cold. Okay, so that happened. Also exchange the nearest small location, which is the derelict squat. So that means this rando card... Reality Impact card gets shuffled back into the exploration deck. We also exchange the nearest small location, which is the derelict squat, with something else, which is the hotel. We now get a hotel that is near us. Okay. Let's see. Moving down the line. We resolve weight tokens. We do have a weight token on the rainwater collector. So, how much water did we get from that? Oh, great. We only get 1. We only get 1 water. So I guess Pavel will be drinking. Sveta will not. Sveta is going to eat the canned food. That should be okay, I guess. I mean, Pavel is already at, like, hunger and misery 1. So if either of those goes up to 2, that's not great. Anyway, yeah, we only get 1 water. Damn it. That's better than nothing, I suppose, though. Okay. Oh, wait, no. 1 is 1 water. 2 to 5 is 2 water. Hey, we do get 2 water. Cool. Cool. We have enough water for everybody. Everybody gets to drink. Everybody gets to drink. It's just Pavel doesn't get to eat once again. We're gonna use the canned food on Sveta to wipe out her hunger. Okay, so now you would think we would want the really sick guy to eat. He's very tired, he's very sick. We should have him eat, right? Anyway, so that is that weight token resolved. We got 2 water. Cool. It's a good thing I took another look at that. So you pretty much always get at least 2 water. It's only on a critical failure of 1 that you will only get 1 water from the rainwater collector. And thankfully, all we need is 2 because we only have 2 people. So, all right. Let's see. So next up, resolve Spirit C on all character cards. That's pretty good. Because this actually means we can get rid of Pavel's misery. Because Pavel, his C is, if there's a guitar, he can lower somebody's misery. But Sveta has comforting talk, which means you can lower one chosen character's misery by 2. So we're just going to do that. We're going to get rid of Pavel's misery entirely because he has a nice comforting talk with Sveta. She sits him down and says, you know what? It could be worse. And it could. It could be worse. So Pavel feels a little bit better. Isn't that nice? Okay, things worked out okay, more or less, for once. More or less. All right, so we shuffle that fate card back in there. I'm going to put these knives back into storage. And I think the final thing to do is to see what additional narrative card we get. We don't have any booze to drink. And we don't need to drink anything anyway, because somehow our characters are super happy. They have 0 misery. They're feeling great, despite how thoroughly bleak their overall situation is. Because they're sick, and we still don't have any meds. We have herbal meds on Pavel, and that is it. We have 0 wood. That's not great. Anyway, narrative actions. We're taking the top 2, and we're going to see what kind of bonus stuff we might be able to get here. We've got Like a Mouse and Rumors. So with Rumors, we can play at any time, take a look at the top card from any 2 of the following decks. Events, Visitors, Residents, Night Raids. Like a Mouse. Oh, we're keeping Like a Mouse. Play during the scavenging phase. Instead of rolling for the noise, set the noise marker to 1. I like that. That is great. Okay, we're putting Rumors away. And that is the end of day 3. Okay. And once again, we're at about an hour. It takes about an hour to work through one of these days. So we have made it 3 days, and we're actually in a fairly good situation. I did not see this coming. With the way some of my other games have gone, I only have 2 survivors. We started with 2. We still only have 2. We still have the same 2 refugees. They're not doing great. Only because they're a little hungry and they're kind of sick. Pavel has the herbal meds, so his sickness won't get worse. But we do now need to find meds for Sveta, or her sickness will continue to get worse. There is the harsh winter that we're going to need to do something about. And we have no idea what these... I've never gotten to these ending events, so I have no idea what they could possibly be. But yeah, the cold is an issue because we only have our simple heater. We would have to try and just get a whole bunch of wood to shove in there to reduce the cold somewhat, so it won't be as bad. Anyway, that's our overall situation. Day 3 is over. I'm going to see y'all again when we start day 4 to see if we can survive that one as well. Who knows? We might actually make it all the way to the end with at least one person, and we will have finished this scenario. So, stay tuned, y'all. I'ma see ya when it's time for day 4. There is an About section on this channel that you can click on if you want to see links for other things that I've also done. You can do that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Take it easy. Take care of each other, y'all.